Welcome to another episode of Homework Workouts. The workout today is going to be a 5K run on the spot. So you're running on the spot. That's what we do today for 5 kilometers. 4 times, obviously. And if you go to the app, you can actually score this workout. Now let's discuss injuries here. If you cannot run due to an ankle injury, but you still can use your legs, you're going to bike for 5K. Yes, that's what we do. But if that hurts way too much on the legs and the abs, you can also opt for the Concept 1 rower, which we all have at home. There we go. Alright, so if you guys are ready, I am ready. Let's start in 3, 2, 1, go! No, we're not gonna run a 5K today, definitely not. We're gonna do a very nice homework workout with lots of different variation in there, starting with 3 movements in our general warm-up. I have Madelon and Ben here showing you guys the movements, starting off with an inchworm, including a shoulder tap in the end position. So you reach forward, you walk your way out into a regular plank, you do a double shoulder tap, 1, 2, and you come back up with the hips up going high. Now the idea is to do this for 40 seconds, and when you guys are going, and this is really easy for you, you can also throw in a push-up like Madelon is doing right now. Here you go. What I recommend you to do is start doing that from round 2 on, and use the first round to go nice and slow. You guys can rest. Now, our second movement in this little warm-up here is a flutter kick in a hollow position. So what we'll do is we'll set ourselves up in a hollow. We first go on our backs on the floor. At home, try it out as well. When you're laying on the floor, the first thing you want to do is get your shoulder blades off the floor and your legs up. Now while they're in this position, look how Ben positions his hands underneath his butt, which helps him with the support, and Madelon places her hands next to her body on the floor, pushing into the floor. Now from that position with straight legs, you're going to make really nice short motion, which we now call the flutter kick here. If this is really hard with straight legs, you can, like Ben does, bend the legs a bit more and look more like you're trying to kick a ball in the air every time you pull a leg up. Here you go. We'll do this for 40 seconds with the idea of maintaining that hollow throughout the 40-second time frame. You guys can rest. Thanks. Now, let's stand up at home as well, and let's try out our third movement, which we call a Kang Squat. I want you to go to your squatting stance with your feet, so about shoulder width, toes slightly pointed out, and I'll talk you guys into it. When you initiate, soften the knees, and we start doing a good morning first. Then we hold that end position for 2 seconds, then we pull ourselves into a squat bottom, where we try to lift up the chest. Here we go, 2 seconds, we come back into that good morning, shift the knees back, boom, and we go back to extension. You guys do another 2 reps for me, please, with quick holds in the positions. The idea is to see that torso going forward, so you're leaning forward a bit more, and then going upright into the squat bottom, and you're chasing back and forward when you push your hips back up. So I want you to move like a robot when you're doing the Kang Squats here. Even if you have slight injuries in the knees, the hips, and the lower back, you can still perform this movement. Just go very slow and go by feel. Alright, are you guys ready for action? I'm ready for action, and they're ready for action. We showed you 3 movements. What you need to do is you want to set your smartwatch timer at 9 intervals of 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. We'll move 3 rounds in total of these 3 movements we just showed you. They're going to do a round with you guys, so please get off the couch and join us. We're going to start off with the inchworms, and we'll start in 10 seconds. Make sure you reach with your hips back, keep your legs nice and straight. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, here we go. Reach forward. Now what you want to do in the first round is you just want to do a shoulder tap. Just double shoulder tap in position, nice and controlled, and walk your way back up. You're very flexible. You can get your legs all the way pinched together, so feet standing next to each other. If you're less flexible, you can widen your stance a tiny bit. It helps you in position of coming on the way down, but also walking on the way up, because you literally decrease range of motion just a tiny bit. You can play around with it while you're going. We got about 10 seconds left, so slowly finish this repetition. Madelon going for push-ups now, which is a great way of making this slightly spicier if you feel the need to do so. 2, 1, and rest. So we have 20 seconds of rest, and in that 20-second time frame, I already need you to go to the floor, lay in your back, and set yourself up for success for the flutter kicks and hollow body. Here we go. We have 8 more seconds. Madelon will go for the slightly more difficult variation than Ben does, so you guys can choose whatever feels good for you. Here we go. Always feel free, people at home, to change movements on a level of skill that we show you based on how you feel over the course of the intervals in the warm-up. It is just a warm-up, so it's good to make sure you can actually do the stuff And maybe add some more challenge when you do more rounds. We got 20 more seconds. You need to keep that hollow, so maybe decrease range of motion, pull the knees in a tiny bit to make it a bit easier, and think like you're doing half-ass cycling. That always works well. We got 10 more seconds. This is a rough little warm-up we have here for you guys. This is the most intense part as well. We got 3, 2, 1, and rest. 20 seconds. You stand back up. You place your feet in your shoulder width stand, toes slightly out. And we're going to go through some Kang Squats, and I need you to move like a robot on this one. Alright, let's look at the clock. We got 10 more seconds. So think good morning, bottom hold, squat, bottom hold, good morning, bottom hold, and then you stand back up in 3, 2, 1, game time, baby. Here we go. Sit back, good, and then pull yourself up as vertical as possible into that squat bottom. There you go. So what you should also feel is the shifting of the pressure in your foot. So in that good morning, you want to be lots and lots back into the heels with the toes almost coming off. But when you pull yourself into that squat bottom, you want to also pull your toes into the floor and shift to the middle of your foot, ideally, to feel that changing of pressure. So you go from the hammies and glutes to the quads in the middle, and you come back up. It's very good to have a feeling for what you're doing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. So we got 2 more rounds of this, which is 6 intervals. You guys continue. We'll take a break. See you back in a second. Alright, let's get ready for our middle portion of today's session, which is going to involve oblique work, some additional ab work in there, and some mobility with the scorpion stretch. Now what we'll do is we'll set an interval timer for 8 rounds in total. The 8 rounds will be again 40 seconds on and 20 seconds off. We'll alternate side plank left and right, and then we'll do scorpion left and right. What we will do with you guys is start right away. So I'm going to talk you all in. Let's get off that couch. Let's set ourselves up. If you guys look at Madelon, you see the more advanced version. If you look at Ben, you see the easier version of the two. In 10 seconds at home as well, we're starting a side plank on our right elbow. We're going to try to hold that for 40. Ouch. In 3, 2, 1, let's push up. Now ideally here, we try to get everything to be in line, right? Your shoulder, hips and ankles to be in a nice straight line. If you feel like you can't do that, the first thing you do is scale it down like Ben does, which is literally bending the knee and then pressing from the knee to the hip to the shoulder, making one straight line there. If you feel that even in that position that you have to do a quick drop in the middle, then you do what? You just do a quick drop in the middle. That is all good. Now try to hold on, guys, for 15 more seconds. Then we have a 20-second break before switching to the other side. 3, 2, 1, break. 20-second break. We switch to the other side. That means left elbow on the floor. Yeah, camera angle, baby. Let's go. We got 10 more seconds, then we set up our side plank on the left elbow. At home as well, we do left side now before we move on to our scorpion. We'll do an entire round with you guys in 3, 2, 1. Now let's set it up in that side plank. Here we go. Again, when you set up, first thing you want to aim for is elbow right underneath the shoulder, pressing upwards actively. And then from there, shoulder, hip, knee, in Ben's case, and then ankle in Madelon's case, all in one straight line going from the floor up there. That's great. Very nice side planking here. I hope at home it looks just as pretty as here. 10 more seconds of the flute. 3, 2, 1. Okay, now for the third interval, which is our second movement, we're going to do the scorpion. Not dynamic, but just static. So you're going to have face down, arms spread out to the side, and we're going to start off here with our left leg, going all the way up and over, pointing towards our right arm. And we're starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So when you set this up at home, and you see these two are doing this perfectly, you want to think of getting a very big angle in the knee, pushing up the entire leg towards the ceiling, and then let it tilt sideways to when you're trying to reach for your right hand there. And when you're laying there, you're actually opening up your chest, you're opening up your back, and you can actually try to actively press both of the shoulders into the floor for just changing the stretch a tiny bit. Or you can let the shoulder deliberately come off the floor to also have a different effect. Since you have 8 intervals, so doing each movement twice per side, you can play around with different variations that we're showing you. 20 seconds to switch. That means rest for 20. Pull your other leg off the floor and tilt it all the way over to the left hand. Alright, let's go. So in 5 seconds, they'll show you right away, guys. Let's go. Right leg comes off. High, 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 high. Aim for the hand. Boom. Close to the floor as possible. So some of you might not be able to touch the floor. Then you have that flying leg. That is all good. Here we are. So 30 more seconds to complete one round. Any more? Music in the background, music in the background. La 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 la. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, one more round of each. You guys, good luck, continue, and if you want to do some additional stretching after today's class, you just repeat all of this again. Good luck. Alright, so no running, no biking, no rowing, but there is skating in today's workout. We're going to show you 4 movements, of which the first one is a new one that we call the speed skater. So let's have a look at Madelon and Ben going through all the workout movements. The first one is going to be a speed skater. I need you to go into a, let's call it a half squat from the start. You're going to speed skate, jump to the right, speed skate, jump to the left, and you're going to keep a rhythm here. And it's going to be 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 rep. While they're going, I need them to stay low. I need them to travel distance. Ideally on the floor, you take like 2 points of which you want to move to. Make sure that your torso is slightly leaned forward and you're kind of like sitting back with your butt a bit so you get your entire leg fired up. This is great when you actually stay low. Great job, guys. Now, for injuries and apartment options, we're going to have a look at Ben here. So the first one is to try to eliminate the dynamic portion of the lift, which is the jump and the catch, which we do, for example, when you have ankle issues, or where you have living in an apartment and you have people below you that are very done with you doing homework workouts. In that case, you can do a curtsy lunge, which means you're going to get one leg behind you, touch it on the floor gently, squat back down, come back up, wrap it behind you, come back down, stand back up. It has a very different stimulus on the leg than a regular lunge. That's why we do this one, and it's for courtesy. That's why it's called that way. Now, we can also throw in an option that you can do when you have an injury that does not allow you to bend your knees actually at all. So knee flexion injury. In that case, I want you to stand nice and wide bend. You kind of like straddle. You're going to hinge from the hip. You're going to reach with the right arm for the left leg. And you're going to alternate the other arm as well. And you're going to make it into very big rotations. Boom, boom. Like you're trying to hit somebody in the middle. Like every time you're so angry, you're in the middle of an MMA fight. You're trying to flat-handedly hit somebody every time you're doing this. That looks great, buddy. That is good. That is our first movement. Alright, so I'm going to continue with this one. Our second movement for this workout is what? It is the ding, plank press-ups, alternating. Let's get into a plank on our elbows. Let's start there. At home, I hope you're practicing the movements with us so you can do this as well. Once you're on the elbows, we're going to do this. We're going to take the right arm, press it into the floor, and then extend the right arm. And then we do the same with the left. Shaboom! And then we keep alternating this. Let's go. You guys do a couple of reps for me, please. Whether you go left, right, or right, left, or do half of the reps in one direction, or half of the reps in the other direction, I'm game with both. As long as you make sure you do whatever you can to get through 20 reps. Now, while they're going, Ben is going to show you what to do if you have lots of issues doing this. You can also alternatively lift up the elbows one at a time. And not just the elbows, you want to literally lift up the entire arm off the floor while you're squeezing your butt to stay in balance. And you can also play around with the width of the stance. So the more narrow the stance, the more difficult it becomes. And the wider you stand, the easier it is. How do you decide what to do? You need to be able to do this unbroken in the entirety of the workout, but it should burn a bit, right? Now, let's have a look at the third movement of today's workout, and that is the jump squat. So for the jump squat, we're going to stand in our regular squat stance. It needs to be a dynamic motion, so we're going to squat down, jump up, catch right in the next one. Let's go, guys. Give me a couple of reps here. I can't make them stop because it's an ongoing movement. And instead of just lifting your legs off the floor, I need you to be fully extended in the air with air underneath the feet. You guys can rest. Beautiful jump squats here. Those are going to be nice, quick, and they're going to burn the hell out of your legs, which is exactly what we need. Now, Ben is going to show you what to do if you, first of all, cannot jump for several reasons. In that case, you just do regular air squats. All good. I do want you to sit a bit more forward than you would normally do, so get your quads fired up nicely, and make it a bit of a speedy squat. Now, if the knee is bothering you a bit, you can always turn this into a glute bridge. So let's show the glute bridge to the people, Ben. You're going to lay on the floor, watch out for your head. You're going to have your heels pressed into the floor, hip width stance. You're going to make sure you fold your hip around your belly button, you squeeze your butt, you come up, and you come back down. In that M position, he has knee, hip, and shoulder all in one line, and when he comes back down, he tries to keep his belly nice and tight, so he doesn't arch the lower back. That is our third movement, but we have one movement left, and you're like, what are we going to do now? Well, I know what we're going to do. Work those triceps, baby. So, you're going to need a chair or any object you have in your home that you can place your hands on. And you're going to walk your feet slightly out until your hips are right close to that object. And Ben is going to have his legs bended, Madelon extended. From there, you're going to sit as close to the object as possible, straight down. You extend up by using the arms only. Now, in Madelon's case, there's not a lot of leg pressure. In Ben's case, you can play around with the leg pressure. In the workout, it is 10 reps around. I need this to be unbroken, but I also need it to be tough if it is possible. If you have weighted objects, place them on your legs if you're in Madelon's case. If you're in Ben's case, just switch to a different scaling option. Now, it might be possible, right? It might be possible that this is going to hurt you in the shoulder, for example, or in the wrist in that position. Then we have a scaling option for you that we either call the dynamic table or the static crab. Yeah, so let's have a look at that. So we're going to set up for either a crab walk or a table stretch, and then we're going to lift the arms up one at a time and the legs with it. Boom, 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 boom. So it looks very weird, but it's a very good tricep exercise, and that is exactly what we need. We need to work those babies, so let's get ready with the action. Let's get ready to rumble! 10-minute AMRAP. 20 speed skaters. This one's for you, Ilko. 20 plank press-ups. 10, jump squats. 10 dips. Ouch plus ouch is double ouch. If you guys are ready, I'm ready. We start in 10 seconds. At home, get off the couch in 3, 2, 1. Let's start with the speed skaters. I need you to be in a half squat throughout, and every time you jump to a side, you're making a rep. Preferably you have 2 lines on the floor or 2 very low objects, and you know where to go with the feet, because the longer you make this little jump here, the harder it's going to be, and the longer you stay, the more interesting it's going to be on the legs here. Make Ilko proud as an ex-speed skater. From there, we go into plank press-ups for 20 reps. So those speed skaters go pretty fast. They're about a rep per second, but the plank press-ups will be a bit longer. They'll probably take about 40 seconds to get through those, which already makes it a minute of work with just the first 2 movements. So this is not going to be a workout where you do 10 rounds. It will probably come down to like 4 rounds or something like that. Here we go. So this is a slower movement. And after that, we go into the faster movement, which is what? It is going to be the jump squat for 10 reps. And I don't want you to take breaks anywhere. You can always adjust the tempo of the plank press up, adjust the tempo of the speed skate movement, and maybe go a bit slower on dips. There we go, we're over a minute in now. Madelon is done with that first little set of the plank press up. Going into 10 jump squats, being very nice and high. I like how upright she tries to be in the bottom of that squat to get the quads lit up as much as possible. And this in combination with the speed skater is going to make it for a very interesting leg burner while we're also burning the shoulders and triceps. So Madelon is moving on to the chair, starting her dips here. I know her shoulders are already burning for the last movement. She's going to do 10 dips while Ben is working on his jump squats here. I like how dynamic that looks like, very high and upright, going right into the dips here. And after the 10 dips, Madelon is going to go right into the speed skater movement again for 20 reps, and we're closing in on that 2-minute time frame. There we go. So closing in the 2-minute time frame, both doing a round. This will come down to approximately 4 rounds in total. This is a great workout for the quads, for the butt, but also for the shoulders and triceps. I think all good in total. You guys continue, press pause.